opinion. My family grew up, we didn't have a Christmas, not because we thought it was pagan or anything, just because we didn't have any money to celebrate it. So it wasn't really opinion of it. I appreciate all the different perspectives that happened today, but to me, it's like, do it unto the Lord, whatever it is. That's pretty much my opinion,
Yeah, so for our family Christmas, my mom was very traditional, a lot of gifts. This is a big time for her, so we always did a lot in regards to that. Still to today, she wants to keep things very formalized in her traditions. For us, we haven't held to as many of those traditions. To us, it's more about the knowledge and why we're doing what we're doing, and whether or not it makes sense, both financially, whether it makes sense logically, and not just buying in just because that's what society says we need to do.
Man, Christmas, right now I'm actually going through that struggle where I'm trying to figure out what my true convictions are, whether it's to, having a young daughter and my wife, whether to have a tree in the house and to keep that, not have it. Should I be more intentional if I should have it, or should I just completely go away with it? So I'm actually in that struggle where I'm just kind of going through my convictions. Me and wifey are actually actively talking about it now. So just really just trying to be true to myself as a believer and make sure I'm leading my family in the right direction. So, but today's discussion was really good. It was really insightful. I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people were edified by the conversation. It's really healthy for a body to be having those conversations. So just still praying and seeing where the Lord leads us as a family man myself.
Good memories for me growing up, so it's a happy time. Christmas means more to me now because I am a Christian, and it's really about Christ. And the older I get, the more I understand that all the peripheral does not matter. It's really that Christ came down, incarnate, God Himself, and it just is such an awesome thing. It's hard to explain, but it means more to me every time I think about it. So Christmas is a good time, but it's not an overly, it's not a Tinseltown type. Christmas is a God thing. And I'm glad that I know Christ is my Savior, that He came down here in the first place, because I'm not worth anything without Him.
What Christmas means to me is, in the busyness of life, just taking a moment to really pause and reflect about how meaningful it is that God, the creator of the universe, put on flesh and became a man. And just everything that follows about Him living a sinless life and dying in my place. I mean, words just can't even describe. And, it's about family, it's about fun, and sometimes it's about food and everything like that. But most importantly, it is taking time to really reflect on us being believers and sharing that with our loved ones. And that's what Christmas means to me.
All right, so today we discussed the origin of Christmas and also should believers celebrate Christmas. It was actually a really, really great conversation. We talked about some of the symbols of Christmas, the Christmas tree, the date for Christmas, on how Christ wasn't actually born December 25th. However, it got moved there, and so we began to try to celebrate that, to try to compete with some of the other pagan idolatry that's going on around that season historically. The Christmas tree, where that originated from, and then Santa Claus, where he originated from. And so we discussed all of those today. Then we went into 1 Corinthians 8 and 1 Corinthians 10, asking the question, just because something started possibly with pagan roots, does that mean that it has to remain with pagan roots and therefore we have to abstain from it? And Paul's argument there, at least in his argument for meat that had been sacrificed to idols, was that although something had began as one thing, Christians can still partake in it. However, we must consider a few things. First, consider your other brother in Jesus Christ. Is it a conviction against his conscience? Secondly, ask the unbeliever, is it conviction of their conscience? Would it defame or discredit Christ if you were to partake in this in their eyes? And then thirdly, is it a conviction of your own conscience? Can you do it and honor the Lord? During this season, you have to be very careful about materialism, greed, gluttony, all of those things. And so if those are struggles of yours, then you may want to abstain from celebrating Christmas this season. However, if those aren't struggles of yours, then celebrate Christmas, but do so in a way that's honoring to the Lord, that's making Him the center of it. And so had great dialogue, great discussion. Hope that you all get help with that. Listen to the sermon. If you have any questions, feel free to email us, call us, whatever you need to do. But Hope you have a blessed Christmas if you celebrate it. If you don't, honor the Lord in whatever way He has led you to do so through the power of His Holy Spirit. Thank you so much.